Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to be addressing such a distinguished crowd of bright minds and future leaders. Thank you specifically to Dean Huang for inviting me to speak and to congratulate the Mendoza College of Business graduating class of 2014. Special thank you also to Mark Hardy and Tom Harvey for being phenomenal ambassadors of the university and helping build the wonderful partnership between the United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and Notre Dame. Now, I just want to warn you, I'm an old guy, I'm Hispanic, and I'm from Washington, D.C. That's a bad combination for a person that's going to speak while you're seated here. I'll try to keep this as short and as painless as I can. You already heard what the USHCC does. It is 3.2 million Hispanic-owned firms. It is $468 billion of economic contribution. It is over 219 American corporations. But I think importantly, while the USHCC represents the interests of businessmen and women who happen to be of Hispanic descent, we never forget that we are first and foremost American businesses. In every tax bill we pay, absolutely. And every tax bill that we pay, every job we create, every product we manufacture, and every single service we provide goes to benefit the greatest economy in the world. Our organization exists to broaden opportunities for emerging entrepreneurs, aspiring business leaders, and all of you, the next generation of successful professionals. However, in today's increasingly competitive world, organizations like ours cannot open doors of opportunity for your generation unless our schools place a world-class education within reach. And by all measure, the University of Notre Dame has faithfully delivered on that commitment. For over 172 years, this university has stood the test of time with a powerful confluence of tradition and traditional and progressive values that transcends both place and culture. In the past 2 decades alone, this school's minority student body has more than tripled in size. And through its renowned international programs, Notre Dame encourages students to think globally, but act locally, to observe the miraculous world around them and the moral code within. What makes Notre Dame one of the best schools in America, and this is hard for me to say because I went to another school that will remain unnamed. It's in Texas, it's very large, and I'm wearing orange as I speak. I digress. What makes Notre Dame one of the best schools in America is more than its formal education. Students leave this place with a spiritual compass, a refined character, and the intellectual discipline to navigate through life's darkest valleys and its highest peaks. So every one of you, no matter where life takes you, has already reached an extraordinary milestone here today. And you did it together as the Fighting Irish. Go ahead. You earned it. Feel free to clap anytime you want, young lady. It's going to be all right. The education you've received has prepared you for the adventure. I'm going to live to regret this. The education that you've received has prepared you for the adventures and adversities that exist beyond these halls. But you have the power to defy expectations and prove to the world that today's millennials are our greatest hope and are tomorrow's greatest generation. Now, as you can tell by my hair, I've got some mileage on me. But with life's miles comes just a little bit of wisdom. And today I'd like to share some rules of the road, if you will, that I picked up along my journey. And I hope that these little lessons might be of some help to you as you chart your own course through this fast-paced, highly competitive, and amazing world. Now, if I might just digress for a moment, I have to tell you just how surreal it is on a personal level for me to be standing before you here today. You see, this is not my first visit to this part of the country. Back in 1963, I was alive. At the age of 3, I moved up here from South Texas with my mother and 9 brothers and sisters. I forgot to mention I'm Catholic. We moved up here from South Texas. We were migrant farm workers, picking crops by hand and living just about 27, 28 miles south of here near Plymouth, Indiana. All 11 of us in a one-room shack with no running water, a small butane stove, and an outhouse for a bathroom. How could I have ever dreamt, growing up as I did, as a former high school dropout, learning English as a second language, and eventually graduating from, I might add, an amazing university, if I haven't yet, in Texas, that shall remain nameless, go Longhorns, that I would find myself addressing one of the world's premier institutions of higher learning. Frankly, I see it as a blessing to have grown up in a very impoverished home, where I learned the dignity of a hard day's work, the importance of constantly setting and achieving goals, the inherent value of serving others, and the need to honor my responsibilities. All this to tell you that the experiences that define my life have taught me some important lessons. And today, I'd like to share just 3 of those, because I could go on forever, but they've limited me to 3. So lesson number 1, never forget the basics. In today's business lexicon, everyone invites you to revolutionize, to reinvent, to innovate, to think outside the box, to basically to set the world on fire. And I encourage you to do all of those things. However, before you do any of that, learn your business first. Be patient in the development of your life and your career. Throughout my life, I've seen society shift into a culture of immediate gratification and overnight acclaim. Unless we want our accomplishments to be short-lived, we need to spend time developing our skills. Unlike exams, and I know a bit about this, unlike exams, we can't cram our way to lifelong and sustainable success. I've tried it. Trust me, grounding your career in hard work, in knowledge, in service, and responsibility is the real key to success in today's competitive workplace. These basic values embolden entrepreneurs to take risks, public servants to advance the common good, and scientists to persevere in the name of discovery. And if you commit your life to these virtues, not only will you fulfill your own dreams, but I bet you'll inspire others to chase theirs. And remember to hone the skills that you learned here, well, some of the skills that you learned here. Skills like time management, teamwork, dedication, discipline, and critical thinking. And remember that it was always the learning that mattered more than the test itself. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Some of life's lessons can only be taught by the bitter sting of disappointment, and that's okay. Learn every day. Reflection, then action. And as the proverb states, if you fall 7 times, get up 8. And never forget that success is your choice. You decide whether you'll succeed in life. And just remember that you are capable of so much more than what you think. So never stop learning and never stop pushing yourself. And when you are physically and intellectually spent, remember who you are and will yourself to take the next step. So never forget the basics and find the winner within. Lesson number 2, as Tom Brokaw says, it's easy to make a buck. It's more important to make a difference. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being successful. America was built on the promise that if you work hard, you should be handsomely rewarded for your efforts. And we should never abandon that promise. It's what motivates innovators to imagine the next big thing. It's what allows our technology to constantly push the limits of the possible. And it's what catapults entrepreneurs to establish the next great American enterprise. But with success comes responsibility. We must not fall victim to self-serving aspirations. We know hard work and preparation will usually equate to bountiful rewards. But taking that success and its rewards and making a difference, that requires a selfless, exemplary person. That requires a purpose-driven individual with a compassionate heart and a resolute mind to do the Lord's work. The ultimate purpose of life is to live a life of purpose through our words and our deeds. And I don't mean just donating to a local charity during holiday season. I'm talking about truly dedicating part of your professional life to contributing meaningfully. And there are so many ways that you can do so. For starters, always remember that anywhere you are, you have the power to influence those around you, to inspire others. Please drive and strive to be a servant leader, one who brings fresh ideas and solutions to the table, and one who opts for success through teamwork instead of individual acclaim. The worst thing you can do is to see your vocation and your career for its monetary prospects alone. In fact, scientific research has found, listen to this, scientific research has found that money alone does not make people happy. It can get you pretty close. It can get you close, but it's not going to get you all the way there. Interestingly, scientists now are finding that in order to feel truly happy, people must feel like they are making a difference. Humans by nature are collaborative, and we find great fulfillment in helping a greater cause. It's in our DNA to want to give back. So I encourage you to find your happiness by making a difference. It's not only the right thing to do, but it may just be the secret to your own fulfillment, which finally brings me to my third and final lesson. Lesson number 3, never measure wealth in dollars. In a time when the media marvels at Bill Gates' net worth and Jay-Z and Beyonce's billions and their elevator antics, we are creating a generation of avid money seekers, not dream chasers. And trust me, there is an important difference. We equate personal worth with money. But I'm here to tell you that there is so much more to wealth than a dollar figure. An individual's wealth should be measured by the lives that she touches, the impacts of her contributions, and the legacy that she creates. Aspiring to a life of abundance and comfort isn't necessarily wrong, but I challenge you to rethink the traditional perception of wealth. What is the purpose of living a life of luxury when you can't take it with you when you're gone anyway? The most important thing we can leave behind is our legacy. Never forget that the weight of your name is heavier than all of the gold that you can amass. Now, throughout my time in corporate America, I loved this philosophy. But it wasn't until I began my work at the United States Hispanic Chamber that I began to appreciate it at a whole different level. I saw it in the lives our organization touched. I saw it in the life of a young man named Mark Madrid, who's seated right there, who, look at that, who thanks to the USHCC scholarship, will be graduating from this very school, the Mendoza School of Business, and who today is president and CEO of the Austin, Texas Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, making a big difference in his own local community. And I saw it in the life of an immigrant from Ecuador named Nina Vaca, who was supposed to be with us today. She's on her way to Ghana with the Secretary of Commerce. Nina's a member of our association. She started her business with only $300 that were borrowed. She started a company to honor the dreams of her late father. Today, Nina owns an enterprise that generates over $600 million a year and employs literally hundreds of Americans, allowing each of them to reach their own dreams. This is a truer meaning of wealth in my mind. And being able to have even a tiny little hand in touching lives like these makes me feel like the wealthiest man in the world. It reminds me that the ultimate purpose of life is to cultivate your own talents, rise above your own limitations to find your true calling, and share the abundance of your experiences to enrich the lives of others. As I stand before you, I hate to say this, as I stand before you, I am more than half a century old. Damn. And I live in the sure and certain knowledge that I have fewer days ahead of me than I do behind me, and that there will be a day when we are all counted. Make sure that when your day comes, that you have a good tale to tell. I encourage you, each of you, to pursue this genuine wealth, because it is that legacy that can stand the test of time. So live a rich existence, create memories that will be treasured, and ensure that yours was a life well lived. So there it is, kids. Simple, I hope painless, and I hope at least a little bit useful. Now I want you to stop for just a moment and look to your right, your other right. There you go, Notre Dame. Now look to your left. Remember these faces. Remember this time. Remember this very moment. You did it. You graduated from the University of Notre Dame. That's right. So in closing, please remember that we all believe in you, your family, your friends. So never stop believing in yourself. You are all destined to surpass our accomplishments. And remember that in true Notre Dame spirit, remember to fight for your dreams, seize the future, and commit your lives to something truly exceptional and bigger than yourself. I know every one of you will make us very proud. Frankly, you already have. And someday, very soon, we will all look back on the class of 2014 and marvel at the remarkable contributions you've made to your communities, the careers that you've chosen, and the countless lives that you have all touched. Thank you, congratulations, and go Irish.